So with that decided, chat, let us go ahead and take a look at our teams for the start of this season, our fourth season at the helm of these two teams. We'll get to the beginning of the regular season where your Rockies are ranked 22nd. So getting up there. Started at 29, and after 3 years, you're up to 22. For myself, I started at 30th, and I'm up to 27th. Slow and steady progress, certainly. Let's take a look at chat's Rockies here. Your rotation this season: Nestor Cortez, Walker Buehler, Chase Dollander, Ryan Rolison, and Cal Quantrill, with Ryan Feltner as a long reliever. And a full look here at the bullpen: John Curtis, Lucas Gilbreth, Jalen Beeks, Ian Hamilton, Tony Santillan, and Brusdar Graterol as the big free agent signing from last year. So it's easily the best that your pitching staff has looked so far. Lineup-wise: CJ Abrams, Brendan Rodgers, Nolan Jones, the big free agent signing Jonah Heim, Kyle Manzardo, Wyatt Langford, Yanquiel Fernandez in center, Leover Peguero, and Ezequiel Tovar, with Warming Bernabel, Sam Huff, Brenton Doyle, Cameron Cawley, who you picked up in the Rule 5 draft, and Elihuris Montero. It's okay. I don't know if it'll be quite good enough to make the playoffs, but I would be pretty surprised to see you guys like in the bottom 5, for example. I think you're going to be closer to pushing for a playoff spot than anything else. And that's the big question, is whether or not that's the right thing at the right time. We'll look at the prospect situation in a second, by the way. For my White Sox, I mean, it's actually a rotation at the moment. Drew Thorpe, 26 years old, has finally made the team. My first overall pick last year, Willie Villegas, is ready to go for his rookie season. Big shout out to Lucky Leroy there. The 18 months on the primer. Leroy, welcome back. How goes it? I hope you're well. Noah Schultz, who I wasn't sure if I wanted to start in the majors this year, but I'm going to give him a chance. Colby Allard and Jairo Iriarte has also made the team. Bullpen is Austin Cox. We got Caleb Ferguson in the mix. Joe Barlow, 71 rated Dwayne Underwood. Garrett, always crocheting. Rafael Geronimo. And of course, my new closer, Brian Abreu, that is signed as a free agent. So, looking all right. In terms of the lineup, still a bit weak. Whit Merrifield is still starting for me. God, I forgot about that. Zach McKinstry in left, Luis Robert, Josh Bell, Dominic Fletcher, Yohan Moncada, Colson Montgomery, Jefferson Quiero had to start this year. I couldn't put him back down in AAA. And Cooper Kinney at DH. It's not great. There are certain players like Sam Zavala who I would have loved to have sent down to AAA, but I can't without putting him through waivers. So I was kind of forced to graduating players a little bit earlier than I wanted to, but no doubt you guys have a better lineup. I think I probably do have the better bullpen. I think you have the better pitching staff overall, though. I'm still hoping to be bad. We'll see if that happens. I still think you guys... Quick look, by the way, at the top prospects in baseball. Giancarlo Ibar, the closer that the Phillies selected a few years ago, is number 1. For myself, I have Andres Olivo at number 10. Willie Villegas debuts at number 13. Another starter, Adrian McGee, at 18. So not a bad start. And then Xavier Reagan at 31. I drafted a lot of starting pitchers last year, and they all ended up being pretty good. Your first prospect on that top 100 list at number 41, the catcher, Dinger McPissmissile. That rounds out the top 50. You also have your new third baseman, previously known as Mora. Cash Considerations is there as well. But yeah, a look at my top prospects at the moment. It's a hell of a lot of starting pitching. And Villegas and Schultz won't be considered prospects for too much longer. So we'll see what happens there. For your Rockies, in terms of your top prospects, again, McPiss Missile, considerations up there. Mountain Oyster, the new center fielder, Buck Wild. But, you know, again, you drafted a center fielder very early in the last draft. And it wasn't Buck. It was Buck Wild, wasn't it? Or was he a left fielder? Right. No, that's right. It was the right fielder, now known as former Bat Boy. Debuts at number 13 when he was selected top 5, which is rough. I subbed with Prime. Nothing popped up, so I hope you get the money for watching the play. I hope so too, Devitron. But if not, then hey, it's the intent that matters. Do I have any tips for playing Plate Up? Watch twitch.tv/Terry OH, and he will teach you everything you need to know about that game. By the way, in terms of like starting pitcher ranks, I mean, I have 3 of the top 7 starting pitching prospects after that last draft. That's insane. It's so good. So good. There it is from Devitron. Thank you for the 5. Very much appreciate it. And indeed, Bunny, yeah, we have chat rename their own players as we always do in pretty much whatever game we can. But with that, I think we're ready to go and, you know, get focused on the draft. Try to get there as soon as we can. See what... I'm so over this recovering from COVID thing. Yeah, we're going to see kind of where we stand this year, especially come draft time. I got a trade offer from the Brewers early on. There's no chance in hell I'm taking this. Noah Schultz for Bryce Terang. That is just not going to happen. Just isn't. That'd be a terrible trade for me. All right, so in terms of scouting, that'll be the big one this year. You guys are off to a slightly better start than I am. So for the Rockies, the 3 big positional needs, again, with the most difficult to read font I think I've ever seen in a video game. But as you take a look there, again, what we're going to focus on is the 3 lowest ranked positions for you guys. That is relief pitching at 29. Closer, by the way, is 25th. So you kind of have a pretty straightforward approach. Starting pitching, relief pitching, and you need a third baseman. There you go. That's 19th. You're right, that is 19th. Remember when I said it was difficult to read? I think you can see how I'd think it's a 2, though. Look at the very top of it. It looks like a 2. Glasses and all, but Jesus Christ. It is going to have to be center field, isn't it? Well, there you go. Starting pitcher, third baseman, center field. Not really. It absolutely looks like a 2. You're out of your mind. I will zoom in far enough on this fucking thing until my point is proven. God damn it. Not when you see a 2 in the 27. I looked at that first. Look at the little top line. There's a little hitch in the line. You can read that as 29th. I agree once you look up and all of a sudden you're like, okay, that's definitely 19, not 27. But when you look at that first, clearly that looks like 29. And I will not accept any other answers. Screw you, chat. There you go. Anyway, so those will be your 3 focuses. Starting pitching, third base, center field. I think, again, we'll look to avoid discovery just because, Jesus Christ, there's not enough time. So let's have you guys start off at starting pitching. Again, get that base bit of information and take it from there. That'll be the approach. Shh, Macho, I need you to hush. It's my response. I need you to hush. All right. There is no way my starting pitching should be ranked 30th. All right. You know what? We're abandoning that strategy. Let's see what the hell we actually need. Right? Let's do that. Let's look for you guys here. Let's see what we actually need because we can't trust those rankings. At catcher, you're good to go. Right? McPiss Missile's in the system. You don't really need to focus on a catcher. First base. Might not be the worst idea to try and find somebody that can replace Kyle Manzardo long term. Second base. You definitely need to find a replacement for Brendan Rodgers. You don't have that future replacement in the system. Again, Manzardo, that's the question, is he going to be good enough? Maybe. Third base, you should be fine. Between Tug McGroin and cash considerations, you should be okay. I wouldn't consider that a huge need for you guys. Shortstop, you have too much depth there as it is. You definitely don't need a shortstop currently. In left, you have Wyatt Langford. No reason to look at left field options. Center field, like a true center field option. I mean, you have Buck Wild there. So, yeah. And then in right, Nolan Jones. Which, again, he has 1 year left on his deal at $4.2 million. Then you have to pay him the big bucks. You could look at a right field option. Obviously, you got Rusty T. Shackelford now as a closer. Honestly, it does look to be second base and pitching. I think it's pretty straightforward for you guys. But yeah, second base and pitching is easily the way to go. So it changes up pretty significantly. Just go starter and reliever because there's never that many closers. I mean, a shortstop can play second, but it is going to be better to get those guys in their natural positions. And as it is, you can't keep all three of those shortstops. At least not long term. Eventually, someone's going to have to go. I mean, especially, too, depending on what trade you get. It could change up the strategy a little bit. As it is, yes, there you go. Peguero's actually getting worse in terms of contact against righties, which is a bit interesting. He only has 36 at-bats this year. But, again, finding a natural second baseman to replace Brendan Rodgers is still a good idea. Otherwise, I mean, if you guys wanted to, you could spec fully into nothing but closers, or nothing but closers, nothing but pitchers, and include closers, but I don't know if I'd recommend that for you. I mean, I would, based on wanting you guys to lose and me wanting to win, but I don't know if that's what you want, you know? Oh, in terms of catchers, I don't think any of these guys are super long-term solutions for me. Unfortunately, I need a first baseman desperately. Desperately. Do I care if the Maine college women made the tournament? Of course I do. Support you, Maine, in every sport. I mean, granted, I'm still hoping to see the men's hockey team win. Like, more than other aspects, but yeah. Because it's not like UMaine has a great track record of success, you know? Let's see. Nothing to worry about there. Second base, Jacob Gonzalez. I mean, God damn. I have prospects, but none of them are like undeniable. I desperately need a third baseman as well. Still got Colson Montgomery at shortstop. That's not too bad. And left, I need a replacement for Eloy Jimenez as well. God damn. This is what happens when you draft a lot of starting pitching. Got Zavala in center. I need a right field option as well. Okay. I think I know the approach I'm going to take. And I am going to focus on first base, third base, and left field to start off. So, let's go with generic scouting for the first base options. Again, try to find that little bit of info that you can get. And then check out the best options of the bunch. So get a trade offer from the Angels. Yeah, I'm not trading Colson Montgomery for a 34-year-old starter. Yikes. All right, let's see what we got heading into week number 2 of scouting. Might not be a ton of first baseman, which is not great for me. I've tried to scout first baseman before, and it hasn't gone well. So again, you guys were second baseman and then pitching. So let's get a look there at, international second baseman. And start looking at the starters. See what we can find. Let's see. Right? Okay. For some reason, I wasn't sure. Short-term memory is failing me. It's the brain fog, I tell you. Caleb Ferguson for Andrew Benintendi. I don't blame them for wanting to trade Benintendi back to me, given I was able to offload his contract to them a couple of years ago. No chance in hell, Texas. You have fun with that. You have fun with that. All right. Let's see. Oh, need to finish looking at third baseman. So that will be third base East, third base International, and we move on to left field. And for you guys, finish up with starting pitching and start looking at relievers. See who else you can find here. Limited trade offers. Another trade offer for me. Brian Abreu for Andreas Jimenez. Jimenez is now 28 years old. Man, he's got that's really not that bad of a contract and of a deal. I mean, Abreu is what, 29? Just signed into that 6-year contract. How was Jimenez done at the plate? Not well. Not well. Yeah, I'm going to say no to that. Gonna say no to that. Glaber in Cleveland, I'm going to pick. Basis, what's up, by the way? Let's finish looking at relievers for you guys. Let me know. Do you want me to look at closers as well? Or do you want to maybe do that at the end and focus on the 3 primary positions first? On the Diamond Dynasty grind. Again, I still haven't gotten the start. I just haven't had the time. I'll get into it at some point. Let's see. At the end, skip closer. Okay. All right. Let's see. Left field Central. Left field East. Left field International. So yeah, over the after this week, we'll start to, man, we just kicked the shit out of Boston. We'll start to focus on players that are out there. Mr. Webster, good to see you, Danny. How are you? I hope you are well. All right, let's see. Let's start off for chat here. Again, starting pitching, relief pitching, and second baseman. Let's start at second base. And yeah, very clearly you need to get more information on Henry Estrada. He is the #1 projected player in this draft, but if people screw up and he's as good as advertised, you guys could be laughing in the bank. Danny, so far so good. It's still a really good game. I mean, there's still, some things they could certainly change, but it is still a really good game. Is it worth scouting out Lance Powers? It probably is worth knowing. Low chance of being an A potential, though. Rick Park is definitely worth still looking at, given that he's 18 and could have a super high potential. Newton Whitmore is in that same category. So there could be some good second basemen. Remind you had the first overall pick. That's right, you do have... No, wait, do you have the first? I thought you had the third. I'm pretty sure you had the third, because Toronto moved up to second. If I'm remembering correctly. Okay, yeah. People seem to think it's the third. That's right, you guys are one pick ahead of me. Let's see. First base. Ooh, Elvin. Does anybody know an Elvin? Does anybody have like a cousin Elvin? Is that what people are actually naming their kids? Fucking nerds. Wish I had a different choice of many dashboard calls. Oh, yeah. Give us a dark mode. Duran on his way to the Red Sox for Yoshida and prospect Fernando Franco. Look at the Red Sox showing some ambition. Is I get a trade offer for Christian Yelich? Austin Cox for Christian Yelich. Holy hell, is he getting paid? Whew. Yeah, they're trying to dump that Christian Yelich contract onto me. There's no denying he'd be a usable player for me. Ooh, boy. Oh, Yelly might be cooked. Yep, I will not be the fall guy for that contract. Thank you very much. Jesus. All right, let's see. As I continue to look at first baseman to start, obviously I need to get full information on Elvin Garrison. I got to know how good that guy is. Fuentes is in that same boat. As is Steve. Okay, Steve Rubio. I know his overall is going to suck. Even if he's 18, that overall is going to suck. Let's look at Bill Ibarra instead. See what that situation is. For you guys, yep. You know what you're looking for. And it's Henry Estrada. If that guy is still available when you have the third overall selection, then that is the guy. Cynical, the menu's glitched out a little bit. You see how it's not showing the draft picks and the bonus allotment. It's either glitched out or it hasn't been determined yet at this point in the season. I'm hesitant to call it a glitch because I might be wrong, but Lance Powers. I mean, it might still be worth looking at that guy just to know for sure, but such a low chance of being an A. Rick Park. Still worth looking at Rick Park for you guys to get that full information. Powers, again, Varela, Newton Whitmore. Holy shit, that overall range is still absurd for an 18-year-old. Definitely need to get full information on him since you guys need to find that long-term second baseman. You also have Abdul Poe. Looking like he's going to be a sub-60 overall, though. That's tough to say that's worth it for you guys. At 20 years old, that's not worth using up your time. It's not worth looking at Charlie Beam either. Okay, I think that's about it for second baseman. You got a couple of options to look at. For starters, hello, Kent Lentz and Rob Wimberly. Yeah, you guys are going to get somebody good with that third overall pick. You are going to get somebody good. That is a guarantee at this stage. Whether or not it's a starter or a third baseman is the question. You guys get a ooh. Oh, chat. Nestor Cortez for Max Clark. Yeah. Yep, you should probably take that. Again, your only primary center fielder right now is Brenton Doyle, who's a defensive specialist. It has been playing Yanquiel Fernandez in center. But I mean, yeah, there's no doubt. Like, if you can get rid of Nestor Cortez to bring in Max Clark. Now, he also looks like a bit of a defensive specialist. He is a better hitter already than Brenton How good has Nestor been this season? 51 strikeouts to 14 Ks. Holy shit, he's off to a very good start. Nestor's looking good. I mean, he is worth the contract you're paying him. I know you guys are going to take the deal. That's fine. You're cashing out at peak value for Nestor Cortez. I mean, yeah, there you go. Tigers hand you guys a great center fielder and Max Clark for Nestor Cortez. That is a damn good deal. In terms of the team, obviously we need to be looking at the Rockies game. Thank you. You could carry the extra center fielder. Again, you cannot send down Fernandez without putting him through waivers. That's why he's on the roster to begin with. You could send down Brenton Doyle, though. Again, defensive specialist. Either that or you roll with a shorter bullpen. Let me know what you think. But honestly, I'd probably just leave it. I'd probably just leave it for now until post-trade deadline. Doyle was already on the block for you guys, too. I'd probably just leave it. I don't think you want to risk losing Doyle for nothing. You don't want to risk losing Fernandez for nothing either. So you're better off just leaving it for now and then hoping you get a trade offer for Brenton Doyle. That was a really good trade for you guys. I've by far been getting more offers than you have. But man, the offers you guys get are fantastic. Rick Park and Newton Whitmore. In my mind, I mean, I'd want to go to 100%. At the same time, 100% might not shorten those ranges by that much. You know? I mean, at least with Whitmore, you know he's going to have a good starting overall. I mean, 68 plus at 18 is going to be sick. Park, it's just a question of how big of a project is he? You know? And then obviously Lentz, you know, is going to be a good pitcher. One way or another. I think you could take him out for now and focus on the starters. Daniel's mentioning 100%ing Lentz. I don't think you have to. I mean, there's a very good chance he's going to be a B with a good starting overall. You pretty much know what he is at this point. Unless something drastically changed in that last 20%, but I wouldn't think that it would. Wimberly. You should probably get more information on Wimberly just to know for sure. And it can get that interest up because he looks awesome. Robert Manuel, definitely worth looking at. Josh Nance, holy shit, this could be another great year for starters. Damn. For myself, with first baseman, I've looked at a lot of them. Elvin Garrison, I need to know that overall is not going to be abysmal. I need to know. Fuentes, pretty much know is going to be a B, maybe a C. Steve Rubio, again, the overall was probably going to be low. Ibarra, the overall is going to be low. Jerry Shea, overall is probably going to be pretty low. Not a good year for me to need a first baseman. What about a third? Carlos Alfonso and Leo Rivera. I'll look at those two. Again, we still have 2 months until the draft, so. All right, what's the situation for me here? So he's going to be a bit of a project. I don't know if that's a guy worth taking 4th overall, though. I don't think I found my guy yet. Same for Alfonso. It's just that overall range is insane. He's already at 70%, though. You'd think it'd be locked in a little bit more than that. I have to know. Ken Castle I can avoid. Arthur Morales I'll look at. And Brian Duncan. For you guys with the starters. Holy Holy shit, Rob Wimberly. Wow. He is almost a guaranteed A potential. He is 22, but mid-60s as the lowest overall? Damn. You guys are going to have quite the choice here at third overall, but no matter what, you guys are going to be getting a great player, third overall. We officially can't go wrong at 3. I completely agree. I think you guys are set up incredibly well, and we're still not even done scouting out the starters for you guys. It could get better. This is shaping up to be a great draft for you guys. Noah Schultz for Logan Allen. No, thank you. No, thank you. That is true. I mean, I might have to go off the board and go for someone there. Generally, how much can overall jump year to year for young players? I'd say, what, on average, it's probably like a 4 or a 5. It does depend on their potential, but I would say on average a 4 or a 5 point jump is a good number to see. All right, let's see. Keep looking for freaking starters for you guys because, my God, they just continues to be very promising starters. Let's see. You could look at the Jesus a little bit more. It's probably worth looking at the Jesus a little bit more. Again, younger starter. It's worth looking at Oscar Guzman as well, because if that overall is higher up, it's worth knowing for sure with the first couple of picks. Even Adam Grimm's still worth looking at. I mean, you guys are looking tremendous. And yeah, if you want to start looking at the guys that are highly rated that aren't in those big position and needs for you, we can do that too. Third base, do I have anything? Alfonso, it's still a very scary range for me. Scary range for Brian Duncan. Man, this is a minefield. So that definitely feels like something they changed, or at least tweaked a little bit. Those younger players, those ranges, still don't constrict as much as you'd like them to. There is a benefit to drafting older players as they are a little bit more developed and you know a little bit more of what you're getting. Roger Herstick. What a name. Take a look at him. Alfonso Santana. Okay, and I'm moving on to left field. Hello, JT Karos. I totally read that as JT Kratos, and I would have taken him just for the name alone. Just for the name alone. You guys get a trade offer from the Twins. Walker Buehler for Jordan Balazovic. I mean, Buehler 32, 79 for Balazovic 28 at a 76. I mean, you get younger. You have a bit more contract control with Balazovic. Buehler is starting to fall off a little bit. Holy shit, he's been terrible. Whew. Oh, yep, chat, you're taking the deal. I will not let you not take this deal. He looks cooked. Jesus. Balazovic's numbers don't even matter. Get rid of Walker Buehler. Holy shit. You're taking that deal. You don't get a choice. Holy hell. All right. What do I have in left field here? I know we don't have to do it that way every time, but I still prefer to. So left field, JT Karos does look pretty damn promising. I need to find out more about Diego Oliva. Need to find out more about Ernest Escobedo. And I need to find out more about Hiroyuki Kobayashi. I'll continue to look at left field options. For you guys, you had to Jesus. Big risk, but man, at 18, if that guy is towards the high end, you guys found a good draft class to take starters. You could replicate what I did last year. If you want to look at the closer, by the way, Stephen Trayer, let me know. We still have a couple of weeks to go in terms of scouting. Obviously, you don't need to look at Oliva and Karros. You have that information from me. You are not drafting him, nor am I saying that name. That is unfortunate. Aha. Well, chat, it was great to get canceled. I've had a good run on this platform. And, well, it was a good run. Christ. That is highly unfortunate. So again, if in the final week or two you want to look at the closer, stuff like that, let me know. Any other starters that... Jesus Christ, Mitchell Griffith? This is insane. Dude, there are so many good starters. Like, I get if you guys want to look elsewhere, but seriously, this is looking like the year to just scout nothing but starters and get as many of them as you can. That looks outrageous, just in terms of the overall depth. You get a trade offer from the Brewers. They're trying to dump Christian Yelich onto you. I will reject that for you. Don't even need to ask you if you want to take that deal. I know you won't. All right. Let's see. In left. Again, the reason why I like to remove players is so I can get the full look at that position. All right, so Diego Oliva. Kobayashi. God, I need the extra info on these guys. I need it. Escobedo would also be nice to know more about. I'm running into the same freaking issue that you guys are. Needing to get as much info as I can about the same dudes. All right. You get a trade offer from the Mariners. Taylor Trammell for Ian Hamilton. That's not worth taking. Obviously, you just picked up a center fielder earlier this year. Let's see. All right. Let's see what else you guys got for starters. It might be time to move on to relievers. Let's see. Joey Webster. Wasn't he in the draft last year? Again, he looks awesome. He looks awesome. It's insane. Like, there are so many good starters this year. Brian Rowland's worth looking at as well. I mean, because his overall could be high as shit. Sheesh. Even Josh Nance is worth looking at because you know he has a B potential. Again, hey, let me know. I have time to change it, but I still feel like you guys are best to focus on those starters and really find those impactful players this year. You guys could draft a whole freaking rotation this year. For me in left, I got to look at Brian Matsui. I'll look at Cecil Halpern. Good old Cecil. All right, and that's it for that. Now, I did technically have right field as another position that I needed to look at. Fair enough. We should be getting to some road to the show tonight. I know Sin was wanting to play some pro clubs, so we'll see if that happens. Yeah, I'm going to look at right field options as well. Miguel Valdez. And actually, can do that now that we're going to be looking at right fielders here. So, Mr. Valdez, see what you're looking like. Let's keep it going. We're closing in on the draft. Another day to set up assignments. Matsui, I still need to know more about. I can take out Halpern. I need to leave Valdez in there as well. So then in right, gonna take a look at Howard O'Reilly. So we have 2 weeks left to scouting, chat. So far, you have only looked at second baseman and starters because the starting pitching position is fucking stacked this year, and it's probably your biggest need, especially after just trading a starter in Nestor Cortez. So the question is, do you want to look at the super highly ranked closer and relievers? Or if there's another starter, I mean, let's see. You could still look at Kevin Fritz and get a better idea. You could look at Alfredo Magana and see exactly what that overall is. Harry Wiley. Wiley? I don't know. That guy looks like he could be sick. Louis Fisher looks like he could be sick. I mean, yeah, even Boone Hernandez if the overall's higher. Kenji Matsui looks like he could be sick. Pete Torres could be sick. Deljean could also be sick. Daryl Cartwright. Seriously, dude, for starting pitchers this year, holy shit. Like, this is outrageous. The potential quality. I'm seeing kind of a mix of thoughts and opinions. So for the final 2 weeks, what do you guys want to scout? More starters or relief pitchers and closers? Let me know what you think. And we'll go back to it. Again, for me, that's pretty much who I wanted to look at. So, what do you guys think? I mean, regardless, you're going to be scouting very promising players. I mean, the starting pitching position looks absurd this year. And of course, some of the relievers could also be absurd as well. There's just never enough time to scout everybody. There's a lot of relievers that look like they could be fucking fantastic. God damn. Like, your scouts are loving these players at a base level. Looks like relievers are going to win the day, though. So, Warrior, I have no idea. I don't pay attention to the Bundesliga. I didn't even know they were undefeated. Well, let's see then. I mean, it's worth just looking at the guys that are ranked the highest. So, Steven Schreier. Take a look at Nick. And we're taking a look at Martin Benitez. All right, we have 1 week left. You get a trade offer from the Red Sox. Gratterall for Wilyer Abreu. Nope. That is just not even worth it for you guys. We won't even discuss it. Final scouting week. See if you guys can get any other information here. In terms of relievers that you know nothing about, Martin Benitez at 5. So it'll be Benitez. Davis Kingman at 24. So it'll be Benitez, Ambrose, and Boyce Fisher as the final people to look at. For myself in right, let's see if I can find anybody. Howard O'Reilly's overall is going to be too low. I need to know about Josh Saito. Need to know about Michael Lee. And that's pretty much that. All right. Well, Estrada's up there. Obviously, you guys had looked at him. You had the starters, the relievers. Is there anybody else that I want info on here? So many starters and relievers at the top of the board. There is this random catcher, Douglas Priest. I'm going to look at him. I might as well. I won't change that over to catcher because I forgot to do that for you guys last year, so I'll even it up. So this is going to be an interesting draft. I am at the bottom of the AL Central. You guys are at the bottom of the NL West. So much for pushing for a playoff spot, but this is going to be a very, very big draft.